like to call to order the Proctor City Council meeting for Monday, November 3rd, 2025. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? We'll perform roll call at this time. Councilor Benson?
Present.
Councilor Peterson?
Present.
Councilor Johnson?
Present.
Councilor DeWall?
Present.
Mayor Ward's also in attendance. Please let the minutes reflect all others in attendance, including Administrator Rich, Administrative Assistant Mizuko, Attorney Hanka, Sergeant Rebo, and Chief Gatus. Looking for a motion to approve the pre-agenda meeting minutes from Monday, October 20th, 2025.
So moved.
Councilor DeWall made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Benson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Looking for a motion to approve the city council meeting minutes from Monday, October 20th, 2025. I'll go. Councilor Johnson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Peterson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Looking for a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Before that motion is made, we did have one addition, 6E, Federal Workers Aid. And with that change to the agenda, I'll entertain a motion for approval. I'll go ahead and make the motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Peterson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to the comment suggestion period of the meeting. The public comment suggestion period of this meeting is when the city council offers a time for everyone in attendance or watching from home to address the city council. Once we move on from the public comment suggestion period of the meeting, members of the public will no longer be allowed to address the city council unless the mayor acknowledges you. As a general rule, the council will listen to all comments but are not required to comment on or respond to any comments made by speakers. If you'd like to address the city council during the public comment suggestion period of the meeting, please come forward to the podium or dial 218-628-6268. Before you begin, please state your name and address for the meeting minutes. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the city council will be prohibited from using obscene, profane, or threatening language or boisterous conduct that disrupts the meeting or the security of the public. Is there anyone at this time that is interested in participating in the public comment suggestion period of the meeting? If so, please come forward to the podium or dial 218-628-6268, and we'll give that a minute or two.
Jim Schwartzbauer, 827 Almac Drive, Proctor Museum, Historical Society. Just a real quick update with the, when you're meeting in September, Jared Hinks and myself were here and we presented and recommendations of what to move forward. After that point, Jessica, you put out a really nice report. You put out, this is where we are, put it out on Facebook, put it in the journal. I just want to report back at this point in time now, 2 months later, we haven't heard from anybody. Nobody's even given us any information or any thoughts of trying to step forward for either Hoghead or for the Historical Society and the museum. So with that in mind, we thought it was appropriate to inform the council of that. And there may be a couple of members sitting here from the Historical Society that may want to say something, but please don't take it as a reflection upon the council. The council has been tremendously helpful in doing everything. We just need to figure out a way to continue to try to get people to step forward for the museum. So that's what that's about. So I don't know who, if anybody's going to speak, but they can if they want.
Thank you, Jim.
I'm short. Chris Brennelt Lyons, and I am a Proctor graduate, and I volunteer up at the museum, and so I'm going to plead a museum's case. Part of Proctor is we build character, and we all know that, and all we have to do is reflect on our history, and we don't want to forget that. And so my mom and dad were very active in starting that museum, along with, I think Mr. Ward had somebody in there too. There's so many people that we're connected with, and We don't want to lose that piece. And so, I mean, I just think about graduates that I know about. How about a guy being a Proctor grad and he's a lawyer in the Nuremberg trials? Oh my goodness. How about we still have the state record for the mile by a Proctor graduate, and that will never be broken because they time it differently. But Proctor owns that piece. We had 3 women, 2 were Proctor graduates and 1 lived in Proctor, that played on the first team that won a national tournament in the state of Minnesota, and we played it out on the East Coast there and stuff. And since then, this was slow pitch softball. Since then, Minnesota has lots of national champions, but Proctor had 3 people that were involved in that fine thing. I think about some more people too. We have the woman that was connected to Good Housekeeping, and she was like one of the first female editors, Proctor grad. And so as we go on and on, what we must remember is it's okay to graduate from Proctor. It's okay to leave Proctor. It's okay to take what you learned and spread it around. But it's good to come back to Proctor too. So any way that we can get any help and keep that museum going, that would be a good reflection on all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Gary Jones. We need people to come up and run the trains. It isn't a big job, it's actually fun. Each and every one of you could come up one day, learn how to run it, and fill in when somebody can't. And we're all getting too old up there. And it's pretty tough to find anybody young. We get somebody young, then they're working or in school, and we're working on trying to get students up. We had some students help with different projects, but it's mainly all you have to do is run the trains. Most of you can remember when you were young and had a train, it was fun running. When you get older, it's even more fun. So that's all I have to say. Other than that, I'd like to see Proctor be the first city in Minnesota to get rid of daylight saving time.
Thanks, Gary.
Kerry Welsh, 202 Crest Street, Proctor, Midway, Minnesota. I'm here to, I was on the original Hoghead committee. They had the meeting, some of the meetings in my office along with Jake Benson. And we're probably, there's few and far between of us. I think there's like 3 or 4 of us left. And one of the things we talked about in the beginning was keep it simple, keep it to a day and a half or 2 days, and spread it out so a lot of people were involved. And that way you don't wear people out. We're not so much, we're wearing people out now because there's just a few people that take on, tremendous responsibility to keep the Hoghead going. And I guess I'm not addressing so much the city council. I think you're all in support of that, but I'm addressing the community and, trying to find a few people to take on a little responsibility to keep it going. And it would be awful to see that annual get together where classmates come back and old residents come back and they can expect to see people that they grew up with. I'm old enough to remember the Malley being pulled into place. I think the Historical Society has got my 8mm films that I took when I was 15 years old of that thing being moved into place. I remember Frank Morrell, I believe his name was, that used to have the trains down in the old depot station sitting right over here. It was down in the basement. But there's a lot of history, I think, that younger people might appreciate, or it's going to be lost. Our generation we're all getting older. We're going to be gone. There's going to be a lot of history lost. And this historical building, the information that this crew has put together there, and the meticulous records and stuff, and continuing to go back. It'd be a shame to have that just buried. There's some way, somehow, we have to figure a way to get that operating on a daily basis so people can enjoy it. And, you know, it's dying on the vine. A lot of people don't know about it. I think if more people were aware of what's there and how much in-depth information that they have, I think there would be more support in the community. But it's going to be a shame to lose it somehow, some way. We have to figure a way to keep it going. So, thanks.
Thanks, Gary.
Charles Heron, 37 4th Street here in Proctor. This is my first city council meeting, and I'm just kind of trying to figure out what we're doing about our sidewalks, because our sidewalks are in a pretty sad state of affairs in a lot of different spots around the city, and my wife and I like to walk all year round, and it's tough to deal with that. You know, you can't clear your sidewalk if your sidewalk's sinking into the ground, and, you know, it'd just be great if we could do something about that. It kind of makes our city look bad, having these sidewalks that are getting overgrown by grass and things like that. So that's all.
Thank you. We did have a budget meeting this morning, went into later afternoon, but that was one of the topics that we did discuss. We do budget dollars for sidewalk repair, and we're just trying to come up with a game plan on how to identify ones that aren't going to be torn up on a road project in a few years. We want to fix ones that are not going to be tore up right away, right?
Yeah.
So, and I know we got a lot of them, but it is something that council is looking at, just for your reference.
Thank you.
You bet. Any other comments? No, and I just want to thank you folks with the Historical Museum. You guys do a wonderful job, and it is important. And we all know volunteers don't come around often enough these days, so anything we can do to try and help change that momentum and keep that thing active would be great. So we work together and try and come up with solutions. That's all I can promise, though. But thank you for what you guys do up there. It is cool. All right, hearing nothing else, we'll move on with the agenda. Looking for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda. Before making that motion, I'd like to pull 1B under communications. And I would like to add 5A and 5B to the consent agenda. Now with those changes, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Councilor Peterson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. That'll bring us to 1B, Communications, Proctor Historical Society Summary Report. Mr. Schwartzbauer.
Thank you. You were sent an article from the Minneapolis Star Tribune, and basically entitled "Communities at a Crossroad, What's the Town Succession Plan?" And when I read it, I said, wow, that's us too. It's all kinds of communities. It's no matter where you go. Chris just left. She could probably tell you the same thing about Moose Lake. Other people live in other small towns. I could probably tell you the same thing. So there's where we sit. What will be our plan? So having said that, I went to the school board meeting last Monday and spoke for 3 minutes. And I said, you probably don't see me often at a meeting not wearing a tie. No, I'm wearing 100 squared. And there's a reason I'm wearing 100 squared, is because something I had learned about, it was roughly almost 20 years ago now. There was a girl out in a school in Colorado, and her name was Lauren. And she had a really good idea, and her school was doing a great job, and it basically was trying to get 100 students to give 100 hours to their community. And she was highly successful. And I said, wow, I think that's a great idea. So I pitched it to some seniors at Hermantown. I said, what do you think? And so a group of about 6 senior girls said, let's try something. And so we had, in early October that year, there was a get-together on Hermantown football field one evening. And a lot of kids came. And it was a highly successful first year. I said, wow, this is great. We'll do it next year. No. The next group of seniors weren't as interested or committed. And it dawned on me at that point in time, just as after Lauren graduated, after 4 years of running her school and everything she's done since that time, it takes more than a school. It's better served in a community. So that second thing you have on there is 100 squared, is something that I want to propose to the community. It is basically, we already have 100 people that are volunteers. We got a lot of them at the Historical Society. You've got them here that, you know, the food shelf. You name it, we've got that. They have one thing in common. Most of them are probably over the age of 60. Many of them over the age of 70. And we need another group of volunteers. So I talked to the school superintendent. Tim Roweeder was able to meet me at the museum for almost an hour last Friday. He's trying to make some commitments to it. I got a call from one of the school board members after I had presented for those 3 minutes. And she works at Scholastica. She says, I think we can get some students up there to do some stuff. I talked to another one that talks that there's going to be some type of relationship. Whatever that relationship is, I don't know. And then, of course, I decided I got to go find if there's something still in the police garage yet. And so I went and said, Chief, do you still have that gigantic cauldron down there? And he said, yes, we do. Good, I have the tripod at home. Wouldn't it be something if we recognized the volunteers, say on July 4th, with a picnic, a volunteers picnic, where you have that gigantic cauldron filled with the beans, cooking out with everything else in there, had hamburgers, hot dogs, and celebrate the successes of Proctor moving forward. Not with just the volunteers we had that were there, but the new ones that are coming along. And what if the school was able to run some sort of articles about showcasing a different group of volunteers? What would that be like? And what about if that came out in the Proctor Journal and they talked about it? And then we had saying, all right, we've got 40 more people that have volunteered. It doesn't have to be just in Proctor. It just doesn't have to be at the museum. It could be anywhere. One of the things that I see missing, this is me, is each of those groups, whatever group that might be, they meet together and say, why can't we get anybody? But we rarely come together and meet. I'm part of an organization, two organizations, that have come together. That have, without one, the other one doesn't go forward. One is DEBA, and it's basketball. And for a lot of years, they helped Northern Lights succeed in girls basketball because they provided us insurance. Now we do the same kinds of things. And I know, for example, Councillor DeWall, your daughter enjoyed being in Northern Lights. That was a great program. It still is. We still help each other out. They provide money to Northern Lights. So I see when two groups that have a similar interest come together and work together, they both can succeed. Without it, neither one of us would succeed. We'd be gone. I think in this community and out in our townships and our school district, I think if we come together, we'll have an impressive program going. And I think we can be a model for other communities. Let's face it, we need to come together. We can't keep kicking a can down the road and hoping something will change. You know, I look at your agenda and I notice that even committees that you have, standing committees, can't get a quorum. For tourism, for example. And then I also look on there and I see you're talking about the Kingsbury project. I remember with Kathy Hannon, when we were both on beautification years ago, walking that with them, we were talking about that. If you have enough persistence, things can happen. But we need to come together. So I'm suggesting, just me, I'm suggesting that we have a group of people, volunteers from different organizations now, just have a planning committee, just to come together and have some sort of meeting, say, no, probably just after Christmas, and says, what can we do? Let's set us a goal of getting 100 new people. How do we get those people's attention? How do we let them to know what's going on? And see if by July 4th, we could actually have that picnic with 100 more volunteers and more people signing up. I'm just throwing an idea. It's easy to make t-shirts. I'll go and ask somebody that'll make the 100 square t-shirts. And our celebration is we've come together as a community. We have a community that has done that. That building is a reflection on that. I appreciate the school superintendent willing to bring it to his group, because I know they'll come forward. And I know you guys the same way. You will come forward, because we all are in the same position in this community as so many others are. We need new volunteers. They're out there. They'll help. We just got to figure out a way to get their attention and to get them. Is 100 squared it? There's my idea. So, open to any comments, thoughts, meet with somebody. You tell me where you want me to go with this. Or if you tell me just go away and we'll figure it out another way.
No, it's all good ideas. Again, I don't know how you get the attention of people. You know, you look at umpires, referees,
Yep.
People aren't signing up to do things, and those pay, and people won't do it. You know, so I don't know what the answer is, but conversation is always a good place to start and see where where it takes you. But council opposed to having a counselor or two member on a planning meeting with the Historical Society? I don't mind doing it.
I'd just call a group of, different people from different groups. Just send somebody. Maybe they have some ideas.
Well, send us the invite when you put something together, and we'll have some representation there.
Okay. I guess that's all we need. Meanwhile, you should know that we are going to have something come out in the Journal. I know that the paper's working on something for not this week, but the week after, in our attempt to try to get people excited about the Historical Society, the museum, and Hoghead. But I'm looking, because I've also been a counselor and a school board member and a retired teacher. I think we can bring those people together. I think they're there. I think there's a lot of people in this town that don't know the museum exists. I think they don't know a lot about stuff. They don't get the paper. They have no idea what's going on. They maybe have just moved in their last 5 years, but maybe they want to get involved. So getting the word out, making it exciting and enthusiastic, and yes, not asking for a lot of commitment, but maybe taking on a task here or there. Let's make it fun to volunteer, if that's possible. I know that if we don't do anything, we can't keep kicking the can down the road. We can't stop people from aging. So unless we try something, we're destined to lose more things. Which ones should we lose? Which ones can we keep? How do we keep moving forward? Ely's trying something. I'd like to try something with, people like the chief here, city administrator, school superintendent, different people from different organizations. Just say, let's work together. Let's try that for once, rather than part. And then always complain. You have no idea how many times we complain almost every month. Wendy knows. Why can't we get anybody here? Well, maybe we can. All right. So again, thank you for your time, Council. And I'd hope to come here with better news about all these people that were lining up to want to be there, but we're not giving up on that. We're not giving up on that building. We're not giving up on this community. And I know you guys won't either. But appreciate having a council and a school board that listens, that wants to work together. That's not true everywhere. All right? So, thank you. All right?
Thank you,
We'll
Jim.
see you guys.
Thank you, Jim.
Any other comments on that? Hearing none. We will move on to 6A, LMCIT coverage waiver form. In your packet is a memo regarding whether or not we waive the statutory tort liability limits. It's a recommendation to not waive the statutory tort liability limits. Is there a motion to go with that recommendation?
So moved.
Councilor Peterson made that motion. Is there a second? Second. Second by Councilor Johnson. Any further discussion? Councilor Benson.
Yeah, this is something that appears before us every year at this time. Certainly in endorse a positive motion.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 6B, 2026 TZD Partner Agreement. Again, as Councilor Benson stated on the last item, this is something that comes before us pretty much yearly this time of year. It's authorizing the execution of the 2026 Toward Zero Deaths Enforcement Grant Agreement with the City of Duluth Lake Superior Traffic Enforcement Team. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 37-25? I'll go ahead and make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Sent by Councilor Benson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 6C, Proclamation 03-25, honoring Coach Ward. Councilor Benson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, Council. We had our assistant hockey coach, Corey Ward, honored with Class A Hockey Coach of the Year. And I always feel that when we have an opportunity to recognize a homegrown individual, especially who has been recognized on a state level, that we should take a moment and honor that individual. In the past, that individual or sometimes groups would be honored in the Hoghead Festival Parade as the Grand Marshal. They've changed that routine around, so it's now up to this city council to use the power of the mayor to issue a proclamation in honor of individuals and groups who have brought statewide attention to our community. So with that, I make that motion.
You heard the motion by Councilor Benson. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilor Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 6D, termination, Proctor Fire Department. Again, in your packet is a recommendation from the Proctor Fire Department command staff to terminate the Proctor firefighter that is listed on the agenda pack. Is there a motion to go with that recommendation?
So moved.
Councilor Peterson made the motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 6E, Federal Workers Aid. Councilor Benson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, Council. We did discuss this during our pre-agenda meeting, and while it probably would have been best just to have had it removed from the agenda, I thought I would try it one more time, that, our brothers and sisters in the federal government are being laid off and furloughed, and I was hoping that we as a city could look at them and perhaps defer utility payments until this situation gets resolved. So, with that, I open it up for discussion. And, during the last shutdown, we discussed it again ever so briefly. I don't think we followed through with a plan, but here we are again. And I think it's a small thing that we could do to help. And it's you didn't see anything in the agenda, only because I didn't really know how to go about it to make it fair and equitable. But I thought with this trust that we have that we can make something work.
Yeah, and I'll just reiterate what was discussed at our pre-agenda meeting earlier. Councilor DeWall, who also serves as a utility commissioner on our Proctor Utilities Commission, stated that there's several programs out there for financial assistance that our staff helps. If somebody is going through a financial burden, they can reach out and we can help walk them through some different options. There's the cold weather law that's currently in place, and that's in place every winter's heating season. And although I like the idea, I agree with Councilor DeWall in stating I don't think we can pit one group against another, where I understand the dilemma with the federal workers being locked out of work right now, but there's a lot of other people that are going through financial situations as well, and I have issues with excluding one group from another and allowing one. But that's up for council to debate and discuss, I guess. Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none. Any motions be made? Hearing none. We'll move on. That'll bring us to members' concerns. Councilor Peterson.
I just have one thing. I just want to congratulate the JV swimmers for winning the Little Giant swim meet last Saturday. That's all I had.
Thank you. Councilor DeWall.
Nothing.
Thank you. Councilor Johnson.
I have nothing.
Thank you. Councilor Benson.
This month, last month and this month kind of marks a benchmark of sorts for the city. 25 years ago, ground was broken, this time a quarter century ago for this building. And I think it's been 10 years since the remodeling of the municipal liquor store, Mountain Spirits. So
Exciting.
it is. And I hate to have an anniversary go by without an acknowledgement.
Absolutely. Is that everything, Council?
That's it.
Thank you. I just got a couple items. Tuesday, November 11th is Veterans Day, so I'd like to publicly wish all veterans a happy Veterans Day and thank them for their service. And the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities will be hosting their fall conference November 13th and 14th in Grand Rapids. I don't know if any of you registered for that, but that is coming up here soon as well. So that's all I had. Administrator Rich?
I have nothing, Mayor.
Thank you. Attorney Hanka? Thank you. Chief Gatus?
Well, I thought you would have brought this up, you and I standing out in the cold on
I
Friday
did.
night.
I should have, but I figured I'd leave it for you.
Okay, so Mayor Ward and I took an intersection Friday night to hand out candy to the kids. Sergeant Rebo went to another intersection, handed out candy to the kids, and so did Officer Mosier. We got very good positive feedback about that they could see the officers as human beings and stuff like that, and they're kind of shocked about we're handing out candy and stuff. We've been doing this for a few years now, but the community really appreciates when we're out there doing that, and especially when invite all of you guys, elected officials, to come out there and meet with us and freeze. So the rain held off pretty good for us. We're thankful about that. I think we've only been out there for 40 minutes and we're cleaned out, so it didn't take too long.
It was quick.
So talking about volunteering, I know you guys volunteer your time, but it only took 40 minutes and all that candy was gone. So, talking about grants and stuff, besides the TZE grant, our Lucas machine that we got, which was $20,000 to $25,000, we did receive a small little grant today from the Chiefs of Police Association, and that was referring to what they were talking about earlier today, is the Hoghead events and putting on community programs. So the budgeted amount was $2,500 we could get for that, but we received $2,000 to provide community events throughout the year for the community. So we just received that check today for that. Also, Officer Bradley and Sergeant Rebo have been working on the Axon VR virtual reality training for like shoot, don't shoot situations. And as like some of you that know about law enforcement, we had this own antiquated system called FATS, which was basically a screen, and they'd sit there and give us a fake gun, and you'd go through shoot, don't shoot scenarios and stuff like that. So now you're basically where the virtual reality, and you go through these scenarios and helps the officers understand how to de-escalate situations with someone even from autism, a mental health issue, or just a normal situation where a guy's refusing to drop a gun or drop a knife or whatever. The instructors can sit there, and one time you go through it, like the FAT scenarios would be, you knew what was going to happen because you've been through this so many times. With the virtual reality, the instructor can change it each time to a different way of the outcome is going to be. So again, I invite you guys, when we do get that running, I would like to have you, we'll invite you guys to go through it. So you can actually see what the officers go through and what you paid for. Okay?
No, and that's really cool, and the officers, Bradley and I can't remember who else you said, but by them building that program, it saved us a ton of money, correct?
Yes, they wanted to charge us $2,000 to set it up, and the officers have more IT skills than I do to be able to get it up and running, and so, yeah, we save a little bit of money that way too.
And that machine, Chief Gatus was referring to, the first one, the CPR one?
Oh, the Lucas machine.
Lucas machine, yeah, that's pretty cool. If you haven't checked that out, it's kind of a cool little device that they got next door, so.
Yeah, the mayor got to see that on Friday night too, so the officers.
They didn't put me in it, but I got to see it.
Yeah, well, good, we didn't have to do that. That's all I have.
No, and then just a comment on the trick or treating. We pulled in on the curb and Chief throws his lights on and guy jumps out of the car. He's like, "What did I do?" So we did scare some people too, but it was fun, yeah. And the kids are getting smart because Sergeant Rebo was down one block from us and they would hit him up and then pretty soon they were coming up and I'm like, "You guys already got a bag." "No, it's from the other guy down there." So they were doubling up on us too, but no, it was fun.
Yes, it
Thank you
was.
for that.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, with that being said, we'll entertain a motion to pay the October 20th, 2025 bills in the amount of $133,836.19.
So moved.
Counselor DeWall made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Peterson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Looking for a motion to pay the November 3rd, 2025 bills in the amount of $170,810.41.
So moved.
Counselor Benson made that motion. Is there a second? Second by Counselor Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Counselor DeWall made the motion to adjourn. Is there a second? I'll second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Thank you.